Hey, everybody. Welcome to Marketing Monday. My name is Chris Wharton. I'm glad to have you here today with me. I'm really excited about what I'm going to talk about today. Before we do, as always, when you hop in here, can you tell me your name, where you're from? Love to chat with you. And please use the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions, not just here to talk at you, but I am excited about what I'm going to talk about today. And that is a little bit of Chat GPT. So I think a lot of people are kind of afraid of diving deep into what Chat GPT is capable of or what any of the AI tools are really capable of. I'm trying to demystify that a little bit today by showing a few ways to use it that are kind of super handy. At the same time, I'm going to show you how you can really build some custom GPTs for you. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to dive into this because I want to show you a little bit. It's kind of a sneak peek, honestly, into the inner circle. For those of you who are in the inner circle, you know, we just came off a month of doing 3 trainings a week on a bunch of different topics from different coaches. And one of them was my kind of deep dive into, let me share this window. There we go. One of them was a deep dive into ChatGPT and artificial intelligence and kind of how we're using it. And so let me make this full screen. We'll kind of dive into it. So on the base level, when you get in ChatGPT, you get started with the prompt. What can I help you with? Then you can go all different ways. Brainstorms, coding, summarizing text, going through transcripts, all kinds of fun stuff you have ChatGPT do, write content, create emails, funnels, all the stuff. But a lot of times we do things over and over again. Make an email, make it better. Make a communication, make it better. Give me a subject line for this. Give me caption for this image, that kind of stuff. And in those cases, you can actually create some custom GPTs. So for example, I created a GPT called the Email Improver. And in it, it's literally all it does is it improves my emails to make them sound better, to make them a little less, which is kind of funny coming from ChatGPT, but a little less robotic because I like to, when I write emails, it's pretty like, here's the date, here's the time, here's what you need to know. And it kind of helps me add in a little bit of fluff into that. And it provides me a subject line. So all I have to do is if I was going to write an email, I would just put the email in here and it would already have all that base layer instruction. I'm going to have to tell it over and over again, hey, can you improve this email? Can you make it more personable? Can you add in some personal anecdotes to it? Can you provide me a subject? All those instructions are already inside this GPT I created. There's another one. We call this one the image caption tool. So let me go to one of our listings. I'll just pull an image down and we'll use that as a particular example here. If I can log in. There we go. Come on, switch me to hosting. There we go. And while I'm doing this, just so the example, the background behind this is we gave it a series of instructions of, for the particular image, you want to have a caption of a certain length, of a certain number of characters, all those things into it. And that way it can quickly help me create captions for our images. And so, for example, I'll bring this over here so you guys can see it. This is Lodge 93, one of those properties in Olney, Montana. So I'm going to choose this top image. I'm just going to open it in a window. I'm going to save this image real quick. I have the high res somewhere, but we'll just do it this way. Make sure it's not saving as a WebP because it might be even worse. So we are just going to save it as a JPEG. And we'll put it in February. That's fine. Cool. And then with ChatGPT, I can go back to it. I can then upload from my computer that particular image. That would be in February. And then I can just send it, analyze the image, and then provide a caption for it as it's done analyzing it. So, escape to your private mountain retreat where you and yours can soak in the hot tub, relax in the sauna, or stargaze from a cozy bubble dome, all surrounded by nature's beauty. So really quick, you saw I didn't give it any prompt. It doesn't know anything about this property, doesn't know anything specific. It's just I created it to whenever I upload an image into it, it analyzes the image and then provides me a caption. Obviously, it would know, the more it knows about the property, the better this caption could potentially be, which is why you would want to lay down a base layer. That's kind of what I call it. Kind of like cooking, where you kind of like, okay, you have your mise en place, you lay down the base layer of flavors as you and add to over time. Kind of same thing with ChatGPT. That I'm kind of laying a base layer, but there are times I just need it to do common tasks over and over and over again. So we're actually going to go. I'm going to go back to the main little section here. We're going to explore GPTs. I'm going to show you kind of behind the scenes of what we did for those GPTs. So, for example, email improver. I'm going to edit it, and basically, it's just that's why I called it. It improves emails. And then my instructions are super simple. Make the email more compelling, include a subject line. That's it. Super, super simple. But because I use this all the time, whether it's communication with people, whether it's writing emails for programs, that just by saving me the time of having to, every time I come in to make a new chat, give it some instructions, lay it down, I can do it this way. Now let's dive into the image caption one. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to explore it and view behind it. So you can kind of see what we laid down for it. Create compelling Airbnb image caption using this image, using terms, you and yours, and the photo description with character limit of 198 characters. And don't use the word unforgettable. That's kind of the base layer I laid down for it. Then it knows I just put an image in, boom, it spits out a caption for it. And that's what it's designed to do. So that's kind of the base layer of like just dipping your toes into what GPTs, creating your own GPT or creating your own commonly used tool instead of me having to, from the beginning every time, lay down the same information, lay down the same work. You can do it this way and just save you a ton of time. The next layer of that is actually when you add in more training to it. And so, for example, this one is actually training to try and talk like Bill. And so to do that, we kind of give it some instructions, either super similar to the instructions that we would give it if we're starting a prompt, like you're creating content for a short-term rental. That's going to be marketing materials, email sequences, landing pages. You kind of lay out what it's going to create. So same thing here. Talking about Bill, a few other things. But the big thing is that it has uploaded into it a bunch of files. And in those files are transcripts of Bill speaking. It's coaching calls, it's programs, it's the information that Bill talks about all the time. So that way it has a layer of knowledge to be able to respond better. I'll show you another example of doing this. So last week in Inner Circle, Bill did a co-hosting sales training. And so if you followed me long enough or followed us long enough, you've seen me do this particular prompt before, which is, you are this, ask me 10 questions to help create the best possible content. So you are a master of sales and marketing. You know how to overcome objections, create sales presentations, marketing material, and more. We're one of the coasting company that specializes in coasting short-term rentals to get owners of properties significantly better returns, better guest reviews, and less stress. What 10 questions do you need answered to write the best sales and marketing content? So I'm laying a base layer down. I want to create a chat with ChatGPT for co-hosting. Not just any co-hosting, specifically our co-hosting. And to do that, I have it ask me questions. So it's going to ask me things like, what's the company's unique value proposition? Who are the target customers? What are common pain points? So then I'll go and answer those questions. We specialize in creating amazing guest experiences through thoughtful amenities, communication, and messaging. Use the latest pricing tools to make sure the revenue is maximized for property's potential. You've seen me do this before. What you haven't seen me do is this next part. So it kind of summarizes some of the things I gave it. And then I pulled down one of Bill's trainings. So one of our favorite tools to use is called Otter to AI. It transcribes videos or texts, or it'll go into meetings. So if you do Zoom meetings, it'll give you a transcript of what you talked about in the meeting. But a lot of what we use it for is to take video and put it in there to transcribe it. And then I'll put those transcriptions directly into ChatGPT. So if Bill's talking about co-hosting sales training, he talks for an hour and a half on it. Well, that's some of the best content to then train an AI on co-hosting sales. So I just pull the transcript of that video down and put it up into ChatGPT to lay this base layer down of it having thorough understanding and knowledge of co-hosting. So, for example, and then in the training, we asked it a few questions. So respond to the objection that our commission rate is higher than other coasts in the area. And this is what it responded with. I'm going to actually read this to you so you can kind of get an idea of how good, once you kind of lay the base layer down, because I didn't give it a whole lot, right? It's a simple objection. Your commission rate is higher than other coasts in the area. And this is what it responded with. Thank you for bringing up your concerns about our commission rates. I understand that seeing a higher rate may might initially seem like a disadvantage. However, let me explain why our service is priced this way and how it actually benefits you significantly more in the long run. Firstly, our rate includes a comprehensive suite of services that go beyond basic property management. This includes advanced revenue management using the latest pricing tools, which ensures your property earns maximum possible returns throughout the year. Our dynamic pricing strategy responds to market changes in real time, often leading to increased revenue that more than covers the difference in commission rates. Additionally, we invest heavily in marketing and guest experience enhancements, from high quality professional photography and personalized listing descriptions to premium guest services and support. These are all designed to attract more bookings, higher paying guests. Our focus on guest satisfaction not only boosts your reviews, but also increases the likelihood of repeat visitors, further enhancing your property's earning potential. We also provide full transparency and regular reporting, so you can see exactly how your investment is performing. Our technology allows you to keep track of bookings, financials, and guest feedback in real time, giving you peace of mind and control of your property without the day-to-day management headaches. Moreover, many of our clients find that the slight increase in commission rate is quickly offset by the higher occupancy rates and nightly prices we achieve for them compared to the market average. Our goal is to ensure that even after our commission, your net income is higher than it would be with a lower cost provider. And then it signs off with, happy to go into more details, set a forecast, priorities, make sure the value we provide far exceeds the cost difference. I'm confident you'll see this. So you can see how when you give it ChatGPT kind of a really solid base layer, it's able to create even better content over and over and over again. And then once you have it in here, then you can really lean into it and help you write things. So I gave it just a basic objection, but you go in and provide the other common objections you have. So a lot of what we're trying to do when using a tool like ChatGPT is to really build out a way to respond that allows you to take some of the personal stuff out of it, but also allows you to quickly get answers or write things, right? And so if I'm writing a whole email sequence or I'm really focused on co-hosting, I really want to dive into that. That's my thing. That's my way I'm going to try and impact 2025. Well, I gave it a great base layer here. Now I start creating content. So I could have it, let me switch back so you can see. I could have it write an email to a cold email list of potential clients, offering them a free property review, right? So then it will write out this message. So point of this message being, say you got an email list. You can buy email lists, by the way. So you got an email list of hosts in a particular area that you want to co-host in. Or you create a lead magnet, and this is one of your first outreaches afterwards. Kind of cold people, meaning they don't know who you are. They never really experienced something from you before. Your whole goal is, I want to get them on the phone. I want to see their property. I want to analyze it. And then if they schedule the call with me and the property fits both their needs and my needs, then I could continue the conversation. But I want to just have that first initial step of whether their property can meet performance or exceed their expectations. So just a cold email, writing that. We'll say then a email sequence for someone who books a call to review their property but does not purchase our services. So then this will build me a follow-up sequence. And we talked about anything that we talked about with things like the 200 and whatever 60-day funnel that it is up to now. That a lot of what we're trying to do is you're wanting to get me back in front of people over and over again. So I'm co-hosting. This is what I'm trying to do. So thank you for the call. Here's a little recap of it. Don't hesitate to reach out. Think about the conversation. Maybe offer a discount, provide some success stories, any special offers. Sad you missed the opportunity, but we're here for you, that kind of thing. So there's quickly, you can write out all this content, go into Market SDR, make an email sequence, and just have the CRM side, actually just move someone from potential to okay, they didn't book, so just put them in this multi-email follow-up sequence that happens over 5 emails over 5 weeks or whatever, and then have them follow up that way into it. Even it could go as far as I'm going to pull up kind of a multi tool here. We do AI with AI. So in Canva, you can actually do a presentation. So I'm going to make let's do a presentation here. This will be blank. There'll be nothing in it. And then I'm going to come into here. Whoops, by ChatGPT here, and then create an outline sales presentation for a potential client. Showcasing the unique UVPs of our service. So that's going to kind of break it down into the things you want to highlight. So introduction about you, recap what you know about your client, what you want to focus on, and then you can take, you want to probably have a little more details because obviously you want to be able to have some detail in here, like obviously brief introduction to your company. You're going to want to write out what that actually means. But let's start here. I could actually take these and you could break down into any individual sections. Say I wanted to go build out section 3. Whoops, can't spell. Still can't spell. So it's kind of giving you this idea of an outline. And once you have it to a place that is detailed enough, then you actually take sections of this. And so I could take high return investments, stress-free property management, exceptional guest experiences. Let's take this real quick just so we don't waste too much time. Now I can actually go into Canva and use Magic Write, which is their version of AI. And from the following outline. I do what I want to do. Let's undo that. Let's try that one more time. From the following, I can't spell. There we go. Let me do it this way. I was wrong earlier. I'll check back on that. But basically, you can have it create out the slides for you based on your quick little transcript of different slides. So my whole point with kind of the ChatGPT stuff today is if you're not getting what you want out of it, you probably have to train it a little bit more. And there's multiple ways to train it. You can train it by, one of my favorites is having it ask me questions. So actually going through the process of giving it answers and giving it detailed depth answers, not just surface level answers. Anthony, yeah, there are a couple of different connections. So if you have ChatGPT, for example, you actually connect things into a few other aspects of it. So for example, there are GPTs that do videos and create charts and do image. I bet you I could probably connect it into Canva as well. I haven't played with it a ton because obviously most of the time when we make presentations, I actually do the hard work of making the presentation. I don't let it kind of do all that. I'll make the outline, and then I'll take the outline and just make a presentation, kind of like I'll just take an outline and make the landing page. But I'll play with it a little more. We'll come back for a future Marketing Monday. I'll kind of go deeper into that. But my point of today really was that you can give it a base layer of, I'm going to go back to my coaching sales one. You can give it a base layer of knowledge, and then you can add to it in a bunch of different ways, whether it is using having it ask you questions or just giving it detailed information, or you can upload documents to it. So you can do PDFs or transcripts. You can take videos, so training videos, and download transcripts and put that in there. You can take your previous conversations. So say I'm trying to build a GPT that is Bill for hosting. What I could do is go into Hospitable and pull every conversation Bill has had with every guest for a specific property, and then put that into ChatGPT and build out, like, this is how Bill commonly responds to guests to certain situations. And I could build out a guest response ChatGPT for a specific property. And then if there's an issue, or in the long run, say we had a virtual assistant and I was the one that was doing most of the small communication that would then escalate bigger issues to Bill or I, they would be able to know how Bill would respond because the ChatGPT learned on Bill responding, see how he commonly responds to guests or guest issues or questions or anything like that. And it can learn and then replicate. And it wouldn't be Bill, but it would be as close to Bill as you could get because it's learned on how Bill talks and speaks and does all of those things. And so it's kind of that extra layer of depth to really get what you want out of it. Because a lot of times you either have two ways to spend on ChatGPT. You can spend your time going in to begin with and really laying down all of your knowledge, all of your base to it, all of the little parts and pieces. Or you can spend your time trying to fix what it gave you after, right? You can try and fix the outputs, try and fix what it had, try to fix what the email it writes for you is not detailed enough, not personal enough. But the more you give it in the beginning, the better outputs you have in the end. Better data in, better data out. That's kind of the way it works. And so we're kind of just scratching the surface. If the AI in general is getting to a place where it will be very, very shortly good enough, and you're going to start to see some interesting things roll out from some companies in the industry as well, of being able to use AI to answer more because it's being able to learn more quickly and be almost like an agent. And what they mean by that is more realistic to an entry-level employee and not just a kind of sort of there or somewhat answer most stuff, but actually be at a place of being able to quickly analyze what someone means or interact with someone in real time and being able to pull information quickly. So that's kind of the realm we're moving into with AI. It's super cool. Nothing wrong with that, as we're trying to optimize systems, right? Part of scaling is to put the systems in place to scale. I was having a conversation with someone this morning who has one property and they're looking into the soon nearby future to go to 3 to 5, that kind of thing. I kept trying to remind them that you don't build the systems for one property and then when you add a second property, completely redo all your systems. And you add a third property, redo all your systems. When you're doing, and this is difficult, this is super difficult for most people, but when you start with one property, that you are building the systems as if you had 5 properties, because then when it goes to adding the second and third and fourth and fifth property, it's super easy. All your systems are in place and ready made. But if you don't do that, if you build all your systems to work only well with one property, usually that means that there's less automation and there's less software involved, that you're more manually involved. But suddenly when you scale or try and scale to the second one, you're going to run into a bunch of headaches of nothing's working right. You're too manually involved in things. You have to process this. You have to touch that. Or if you would have built the systems to begin with, even though you only had one property, it would have been overkill for one. It would make 2, 3, 4, and 5 so much easier to add into when you get there. So kind of Chris's technology tip for the day, that you want to build whatever you're building, whether it's GPTs or your hosting system or your PMS or your marketing or any of the things that you do, you build it for where you want to go, not where you are now. Because otherwise you have to redo all the stuff you currently have when you get to a place where you're bigger or you have more demand or you're in different markets or any of the things that commonly happen with growth. That's usually when people get bogged down or have a harder time growing because the system actually ends up holding them back because they weren't ready. Then anyone who's tried to change a PMS or go from doing a bunch of things manually to suddenly needing to automate things or trying to manually push things difficultly when you have 2 or 3 properties, it's very, very difficult. So if you want to lay some of that down today as far as what to use, please get in ChatGPT and play around with it. Use it, play with it, give it a bunch of information, let it respond and tweak it, and then use those threads you create for specific properties or specific services, and just over and over again trying to build into it, give it deeper knowledge and deeper information, and it will continue to be able to give back to you better and better and better results over time. The more you feed it, and the more I use that word a lot, feed. I'm literally feeding it. Here's transcripts, and here's videos, and here's images, and here's documents. Here's all these things to learn. Just like I would give an employee all these things to learn. Watch all the videos on Bill. Watch all the trainings, listen to the transcripts, listen to all the podcasts, just all the little parts and pieces. I'll give it everything so learn and then know and be able to better respond how I want to respond. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for being on Marketing Monday. Bill and I will most likely see you back here next week for another edition of Marketing Monday. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you guys soon. Have a great day, everyone.